Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 82 of the Mind and Muse Crafts Podcast. As usual, I am your host, Caroline, and you will, however, notice that I am not recording in my usual environment or my usual surroundings. I am not at my home in Puerto Rico. I am at my son's house in Alabama. And first off, I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for stopping by to join me in this short chat on the crochet projects that I have been working on this summer. One of them, you will notice, is the elephant in the room, so to speak, which is the duster that I am wearing. On the last episode, I was with Clarissa in her home in Florida, and we were talking to you about how this project was a project as an entry for the Summer of Romance Cal that is going on the Crochet Cakes channel and the Crochet Luna channel. So it's been sponsored by two marvelous podcasters that I'm sure you all know very well. And we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you could have so much fun with this idea of picking a movie or a book or some form of a historical romance and choosing an element from that story and representing it through crochet. That's what we normally do. And so we talked about representing it as a yarn choice, as a colorway choice, as a design choice, or any justification that you can find for your selection. And I'll remind you that I chose The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. It began as a novel, later became a movie, and ultimately became a sitcom, and it was my choice for this year's Summer of Romance Cal. And I also chose this flower duster from Clarissa of Crochet Cakes as my design, and the choice of the yarn, which is Lion Brand's Comfy Cotton, and the colorway is called Silver Lining. So all of this put together, I believe, connected with the plot of the novel, in which a young widow moves to a coastal part of England to live with her two children in a house that is said to be haunted by Captain Gregg, who actually dies in the house if you haven't seen it, and they call it a suicide, but he later explains to the main character of the movie or series that it was a mistake, that he mistakenly turned on a gas stove with all the windows closed, and I'm reckoning that he died of carbon monoxide suffocation. It's my guess. They don't say it, but that's my guess. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, I've probably given away a lot of it. This is my choice because it is gray, and she lives on, like I said, a coastal region. She lives by a beach, and there are many times where they get struck by storms that are very gray and with lightning and thunder and thick clouds. Some of them were produced by Captain Gregg himself, who we mentioned before is a poltergeist, so he can control the weather and he can move things around and he can make people hear things and make people think things or dream things. So he has a lot of influence over the life that goes on in this home. And so I decided to represent the grayness of the clouds and the beach, especially when he was feverish with anger, with rage against something that the main character had done at some point, some decision that she makes, pertaining, of course, to the house or to her life with the children even. So, and I also thought that the name of the colorway, the silver lining, also connected with the theme of this story, so or of the plot. So here it is. It is completing. I will insert here a short video of, so you can get a better look of the entire garment. Enjoy. I think the recommended hook is a 4.5, and she also uses a 5mm hook to begin the project. I made my whole garment in a 5mm hook, except for the sleeves, because I was making 2 projects at once. At some point, I picked up the hook from the other project, and Clarissa looks at me and says, "Mom, but you're using the wrong hook." And so I decided to finish what I was doing with that hook. Luckily, I was only on the sleeves. And also, I'll say luckily that having made this in a 5mm hook and made the sleeves in a 4.25, I believe, which was the other hook that I was using. I don't know how, but the sleeves fit perfectly. The sleeves fit perfectly. I didn't have to gather any of my sleeve as she suggests, so that to kind of like force it to fit. Mine fit perfectly. I made the size large because of the fact that I was using a thinner yarn, and I was afraid that it would turn out too small, so I followed the stitch counts for the large, and I used a 5mm hook up to where I can remember. I don't know exactly when I started using the 4.25, but when I realized it, I was on the sleeves. So it turned out fine. I have no complaints about it. It fits me fine, and it's pretty hot here. The summer here in Alabama is very hot and humid, and there are some days where it reaches maybe 100, 105 degrees. We've had several days or several parts of a whole week even that we have been advised to stay indoors because of the excessive heat. So I am outdoors right now because I really couldn't get the lighting that I wanted on the inside of the house, so I just decided to come out and use natural light. I think it's working okay, but I am going to try and speak fast so that I don't lose my lighting and start getting weird shadows all over my face. So I have, however, worn it out several times that we have gone out because, well, I wore it on the flight coming down because I was flying late at night and I figured airplanes can get cool. I always get cold on airplanes, and that was fine. And I have worn it several times when we have gotten out to eat because I usually get cold in restaurants. At one of them, it wasn't really that cold, but I never felt uncomfortable. Right now, I would say that yes, I am a little bit warm. Warmer than I would like, maybe. So maybe I wouldn't wear it outside. I might wear it as a beach cover-up, though. So, you go to the beach, you get wet, or you go to a pool and you get wet, and then you put something on to kind of bring your body temperature back to normal. So I think it has a lot of uses. I think it is very pretty, and so I really like it a lot. I really like that. I like the laciness of it. I like the idea of having a lacy cardigan in the summer or in the early autumn, late spring to kind of like throw on top of yourself. Notice it's not a long sleeve. It is a bit longer, however, than what she has in the pattern. I believe she only has 2 repeats. I added another repeat so it would be a bit longer, and I also added a repeat to the bottom so it would be also a bit longer in terms of total body length. And I am very happy with it. And I know that every time I look at this, I will remember one of my favorite sitcoms and stories of all times, which was The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. And that's what we were trying to kind of like summarize the last time, that's a good thing. If we can actually look at things that we have made and it can remind us of happy times, happy memories in our lives, then that's part of what crochet is good for, I think. So that is my cardigan. The earrings that I am wearing on this occasion are not made by me, but they are handmade. If you have connected to Instagram recently, you might have noticed on my stories. Stories on Instagram disappear after 24 hours, but you might have checked it out and seen that I had a birthday early, the beginning of July, the day after that I came here from Florida. And so this was a birthday gift from my son. Handmade earrings. They have this center coin, which is center drilled also, is a mother of pearl coin. And then there is a very thin wire wrapped all around the coin. And to that wire, at some point, they begin weaving with beads. So I thought they were beautiful. I liked them a lot. I liked the gray color combined with gold, and I'm a fan of that too, so I was very happy with that gift. The second make that I can share with you that I worked on, I also began before I went to Clarissa's house. I didn't really show a lot of it on any of the social media because it is unpublished. It is an unpublished pattern, also by Clarissa of Crochet Cakes, and I was testing it for her, and I didn't want to show too much of it off until she herself shared it with you guys on her own social media. So I didn't share much of it back then, but I do have her permission to share it now. And I'm going to take a break in the recording because I'm going to switch my garment so that you can actually see how it fits. I'll be back. Oh my God. No. Don't tell me I got the hiccups. Oh, please. Oh, I guess I did, huh? What am I supposed to do to get rid of these? That's not working. Okay, so I am back, and in this occasion I have changed my outfit into my second finished object for the summer, which is this test crochet for, again, Clarissa of Crochet Cakes. And she gave me the yarn. It is a garment that is still in the process of being tech edited and getting the final touches. So don't take this as an exact finished item, because obviously in our conversations there may be some changes that she decides to make to the pattern based on how this turned out, her experience with the 2 samples that she has worked up. But anyway, she has allowed me to share this with you. This was going to be my my birthday make, but I didn't get it done in time. Instead, I got sidetracked with the flower duster, and so ended up not dedicating as much time to this as I should have so that I could get it done for my birthday. But it's done now. I mean, it's as done as it's going to be for me. And I believe that basically what you're seeing here is what you might see in the final product, in the final design once it's finished. For example, it will be a garment, and it's got these changes in color and sort of like a wavy pattern going across it. And the most important thing, I think, of the design was a chance to use any cotton that you have. I guess it's a sport weight cotton that you have in your stash, along with one of those skeins of wool that we all purchase because the colorway drives us crazy, or because we're just crazy for the name, and end up not having a project to make with just one 100-gram hank of wool yarn. So this yarn, the wool yarn, is from Stitchcraft and Wizardry, and it is called Cheer Bear. And I chose it from Clarissabeth's stash. It's 85% superwash EF merino, 15% nylon, 100 grams, has 400 meters, and this is what I have left. So I used up 100 grams of the cotton, and this is what I have left. And the skein of wool, this is what I have left. Now, I could have used it completely because I could have done more rounds on the sleeve, as you notice. I could have done more rounds. And there is, again, at the bottom to end it, I ended with this color, and I could have gone around again if I had wanted to. I could have made it longer to use up all of this wool, but I thought it was just right the way it was. So I left it like that, and so I do have a bit of a leftover, but basically I made a size 2. And so I believe it goes up to 8 or 9. It has 8 or 9 sizes. Therefore, depending on what size you're making, I'm pretty sure you might need more than 100 grams or of each of these, cotton and wool, or you might use less. It all depends, I guess, what size you are working up. Let's see. I used a 4.25 millimeter hook to meet gauge. I don't believe that is the suggested hook size either. But here, you know, more than following hook size suggestion, the most important thing is to choose the hook size that meets the gauge so that your garment can follow the numbers, the stitch counts that the designer has placed in the pattern. And I mean, sometimes you need to make amends. You might say that, oh, I'm very small at the top, so I follow a 1, but my length, I'm very tall, so I need a longer bodice, and so then I'm going to follow the numbers for the 6 or whatever. And then depending on that, you can also choose what size hook to use at different points. If you want it to be a little bit wider, you might go up a hook size so that you have a wide garment, or at the bottom it's wider, or you might want it more fitted, so you might go down a hook size. But at least if I know I'm meeting the gauge, then I know what to expect when I make changes to the hook or the yarn that has been recommended by the designer. Again, this is a garment that I could have chosen to represent for the Summer of Romance Cal because of the fact that it's got the waves. And if I had chosen this in, let's say, a combination of blues, I think it would have gone along very well with the waves from the ocean from where she lives, right? Where the setting of where the story takes place. I forgot to put this in airplane mode, and therefore I'm receiving calls when I don't want them, but it's okay. That can be handled easily. So as I was saying, this could have been a second entry for the Summer of Romance Cal, even with the same novel, the same romance novel, or the same series. It was just that I thought that the red maybe wasn't the color that I wanted for, when I think about the story, it wouldn't be a color that reminded me of the story. The waves, yes, the wavy pattern, yes. If I had, like I said, if I had done it in a blue or a bluish green, then I think this would have gone well with my story. So basically, this is what I have been working on this past summer because of the fact that I am traveling, and when I am traveling, I like to travel light, so I didn't bring a lot of yarn with me. The only yarn that I brought with me was this Nubu from Lion Brand. It is 100% lyocell. It says here that lyocell is an eco-friendly production made from plants, leads the fiber industry in terms of energy and water conservation. And I've looked some of that up, and the truth of the matter is that yes, and it can be compostable, but only if it is not joined with other fibers. So if you have a combination of lyocell, for example, and acrylic, well, you're not going to have such an eco-friendly product in the end. It does use a lot of energy to create this type of yarn. Ultimately, it is a type of rayon that is created from wood pulp. It is said to create a stretchy and breathable fabric that has the ability to wick moisture. Wicking moisture would mean bringing the moisture from from your skin to the surface where it can dry quickly, and it also has the ability to maintain its stretchability or its stretchiness after many washes. So it is used a lot in sport activewear and things like that. I've never used it as a crocheting yarn before. This yarn is classified as a number 4, so in layman's terms we might call it a worsted, which for me would seem a bit too heavy for a summer garment, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to find a nice pattern and I'm going to work it up. It says I should use a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm pretty sure with this width of yarn, a 5.5 would give me a garment with a lot of holes in it, and that is not something that I wish, so I don't always follow those guidelines. So yeah, I'd be willing to go down. It is very splitty, so how far I go down on my crochet hook depends on how far I can go down on the crochet hook without having it catch on every single stitch. So if you go down too far, you're going to be catching very frequently, and that will kind of slow you down. And it also will leave little strands of yarn here and there that have not been worked through completely, and so that's not desirable, but we'll see. It's nice and shiny. It has a nice sheen to it. I can tell you. And it's very soft. Some people say it is softer than cotton even. But we'll see. So I bought about 300 yards of this so that I could work up on a project over here. And I'll be here in Alabama still for maybe 2 more weeks. So I'm hoping that will give me enough time. Still, the podcast at the end of the month, I'm trying to do one on the 15th and the 30th. That podcast I'll still be here. So we'll see what I have been able to work up with this by then. Hopefully, it'll be something nice that I can wear and carry back with me. So I've been having a good time basically here with my grandson. He's grown. He is now 11 months old, or he will be 11 months old on the 22nd. He'll be a year old next month. But of course, as a micro preemie that he is nowhere near the size of a regular 1-year toddler. He's very small, and there's still a lot of things that he doesn't do at this moment, but he is growing, and every day he is getting more competent at being independent and mastering his motor skills. So I dedicate my whole day to him. I'm with him from 7 o'clock in the morning to about 4 in the afternoon, and you have to be all day with him. And he sleeps, but not a lot during the day, so he might have a 45-minute nap once, maybe twice during the day. And so that's when usually I try to get other things done, but most of my crocheting I'm getting done in the evening after he has gone to bed. He does go to bed early. He's in bed by 7 o'clock, and depending how the day has gone, sometimes I am too, but for the most part I can. I've taken the month to join Audible. I don't know, most of you probably know that Audible is a service. It is somewhat connected to Amazon. So, I mean, they do have their own site, but Amazon promotes them. And so they gave me a 30-day free subscription, and so I accepted it. And I've been basically reading novels by listening to them. I have read some using Kindle, where Amazon will also sell you Audible or more an audio version of the book, and I actually find those very fun because I can watch the pages and follow along on the page and in my Kindle, and the page just turns by itself. And so I actually find that very entertaining. Actually more entertaining than Audible, than just hearing the story and not being able to look back, because with Kindle, if I purchase an audio version along with the book, I can look back and see, what was that word? Something I didn't hear, reread it quickly on the same page, or go back a page, reread it, and then go forward and keep reading. And I actually like that interactivity between the Kindle app and me. And so I do say that I like that a bit better than actually just reading, listening to the book being read. But I have to say I do like the idea that I can crochet and read at the same time, because I can listen to the book while I crochet. And I've been able to, I think I'm on my 3rd historical romance book, and I'm not going to say they're good. They are very descriptive of the romantic part. I mean, the ones that I am currently reading, the more modern ones that are written by modern authors, even though the setting is in a past era. And so they are very, I can't say graphic because there's no visuals, right? But they describe in great detail a lot of the romantic situations, and I find it funny. It must be my age. I find it funny and entertaining. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. If you've never tried an audiobook while you're crocheting, then honestly, you don't know what you're missing, I think. I mean, even if you're the type of person who likes to feel the pages and smell the pages like some of my daughters do, I still think there's a bit of an advantage to having the book read to you. So yeah, I like the idea of doing that while I crochet, kind of getting two things done at once. That's kind of like my style. So I will keep in touch with you. I'll also maybe include here a little bit of some photos of my birthday. So I really enjoyed the surprise that my daughter-in-law prepared for me. I'm walking 3 miles every morning before I start work, so I get up really early. And when I got back, they had prepared for me. My son's mother-in-law was there also. So my daughter-in-law's mother and her prepared the table with the balloons and all of the birthday wishes. And there was a big cake, a gigantic cake that we had to give away because we're all here wanting not to eat so many sweets, although we did, and we have. But yeah, it just makes me have to want to walk more the next morning because I'm in the South, guys, and if you know anything about the South, you know there's a lot of butter, there's a lot of fried foods, and there's a lot of sweets, and so it is not conducive to maintaining your weight. And I need to, for health reasons, as so many of us do, maintain my weight. So, but I'm having a good time. The weather is very nice, and the scenery, I like the way, like I say, there's been some heat spells, and some of the trees have been drying up, and we've been watering them down every single day, twice a day, and even that doesn't help sometimes. So it can be excessive. I think it's even sometimes worse than what we have in Puerto Rico, but it's also very beautiful. It's also very beautiful here. So it's all I have to share with you for now. I hope that in the meantime, while we meet again, you will keep yourself safe and you will also keep yourself healthy, and that we can meet up again soon for another chat about the crafty side of my life. So thank you for joining me today. If you are it's the first time that you've been here, thank you for deciding to give me a chance and to see how well our conversation goes. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that you will be back for the next episode. Thank you everybody for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Keep crafting.